Hey everybody, it's Aladdin here with the Chase DA Sports Handicapping YouTube channel. Just wanted to give a quick thank you for these last two videos. Almost got 100 likes on this one. Really like being back and just gonna keep pumping out these videos for you guys. Gonna jump right into this for you. Australian Open, first major of the year. Gonna do a quarter breakdown and then also some first round matchups. I already got a bet right here for you guys. Really like this one. Kind of a gimme, but I do think it's pretty much a lock. Jumping straight into the first quarter, they have Jannik Sinner, defending champion. He's minus 300 to win the first quarter. Basically, when they say win the first quarter, it's saying he's going to make the semifinal or the final four of the tournament. I think minus 300 is a little crazy. He is the number one player and the defending champion. Super good, but basically all the other guys I do think have a chance against him if he has an off day, though. Like Holger Rune, I think could if he turns it up. Diminuar with the crowd, Australians crowd, they just go absolutely berserk. The only ones that match it, I think, are the French Open. Tsitsipas, I'm used to love this guy, but I'm pretty down on him. Last season was arguably his worst season of his entire career. He did win a Masters at Monte Carlo, but that's really his best tournament. Kachanov, I think if he gets hot, especially on a fast hard court, he could do some work. Same with Herc, too. I think he just needs a little more match play. But Berrettini, same with him, too. I think he could get hot, just needs a little more like match play and like time back, I guess you could say. I think anyone after Berrettini, though, is kind of a long shot. Mickelson, yeah, I don't think he's going to do much work here. Could win a match or two. But I do think Jannik Sinner will pull through. But I think if I had to choose one of these guys, I'd probably choose Holger Rune or Kachanov, probably. I think Diminuar could be worth a stab too, honestly. But I think it's this tournament's always weird because it's like it's so early. Everyone's motivation's very high, but their form really isn't there yet because they've probably only played like one, maybe two tournaments before going into this, and they had like 2 months, maybe even more off for some of these players before then. But moving on, second quarter. This one's kind of up in the air. They have Medvedev at plus 220, and he's the leader. I think really anyone, again, in this one could be hot. Popyrin at plus 2,500, that's a great bet, I think. I think Fonesca. It's weird because Rublev does play Fonesca in the first round, so it's kind of weird. One of these guys are going to lose in the first round. GMP, really like this guy. I've been pretty high on him. Probably the best serve bot on the tour right now. I think if he likes these conditions, if he could just get hot. My main thing is we haven't really seen him that much in a 5-set environment. So what's his physical like? What's he like in a really hot environment? Australian Open gets super hot. So I'd be maybe careful betting on him in super long matches, but his serve can always bail him out and just end points so easily. Same with Shelton too. But if I had to choose one person out of all these people, probably choose Taylor Fritz. The guy's I think ranked number 4 in the world now. Very established over the last year. Out of all these players, I think he would, against Medvedev, he'd probably be like Pick'em. Rublev, he'd be probably like minus 150, minus 180. And then all these other players, he'd be a pretty sizable favorite over. I'd like to bet on Francis, but I don't know. I feel like I don't know where his motivation is. Do love the guy, though. He did have the craziest crash out I've ever seen last year. I think that was in China, I think. That was the craziest crash out I've ever seen. But anyways, out of all these people, I'm going with Taylor Fritz. I think he'll definitely get at least to the quarters. Maybe not to the semis, but at least to the quarters. Moving on. Third quarter, it just seems like it's Alcaraz, Djokovic, and Draper, and then basically like everyone else in here. I think if value-wise, you have to go with Draper here. He made the semifinals of the U.S. Open, pretty similar conditions, fast, hard court. And I just think this guy is on an upward trajectory. I think my main concern with him is his physical, especially in hot environments. He's had tons of issues. Like in Miami, he was like puking on the court. A few other places he was doing it, and especially in 5 sets, like can this guy hold up in like 80, 85-degree heat, playing 3 to 4 hours? Hopefully he's been able to get over that hump because I think this guy is awesome. Great lefty serve, huge forehand, very very smart player too. So if I had to choose one player, I would choose Jack Draper out of all these players value wise, but I probably would go with Alcaraz. His motivation I think would be super high. It's the only major he hasn't won, and seeing this everyone else in this quarter, I think he pretty much owns them, especially Djokovic now. Like I just feel besides the Olympic final, I feel like he's really been pretty solid in that head to head. Besides that, man, I'm surprised that Makac is not over Korda, and seeing Opelka that high too. Honestly, I mean Kakanakis, I would put over at least like I don't know Opelka. Honestly, I mean he's just coming back. But if I had to choose one player, I'm going with Alcaraz or Draper. Hard to fade Novak though, but I just don't see any value in him right here, especially if they were to play Alcaraz and Djokovic were to play in the quarterfinal. I would definitely choose Alcaraz for sure. Last quarter, they have Zverev plus 125, massive, massive favorite. I know this might be kind of cheeky, but you could throw maybe a little Nick in there. He's unranked, but I think his motivation is always the highest at this tournament, maybe Wimbledon, because he's just really good on grass. But I would really, really think that Nick has a high motivation coming back. He almost beat GMP. They had a 3-set all tie-break battle. It was this crazy serve bot madness. But I think Tommy Paul, he looked pretty solid in his last match. I know he plays FAA tonight. They got him right there, right behind him. I'm not that big on Casper Ruud on hardcore. I know he made a U.S. Open final, but he hasn't been that good at this tournament. And then also like Wimbledon, another fast court, but granted it's grass. I really do think that Zverev will win, at least to the quarters. This guy played the best season, I think, of his career last year. Really thought he should have won that French Open final. Just absolutely melted away. But if he could get over that hump, hopefully he should be able to win something, at least in his career, like a major. But going forward, I think that he will hopefully get that done. Moving on, I think that's really the only bet. I would maybe do Nick and then Zverev for the only plays. And then going forward, I did have one bet I said, and it was, you saw it, Nick Kyrgios. He's minus 145, and he's against a guy named Fernley. He's a college player. I think he played at TCU. Not a bad player, but I just think with the crowd and the energy, first round he'll have the most, I guess, like stamina, Nick. So I think that he'll definitely get this done in probably 3 sets, maybe 4. But let me get over to the actual matches. Yeah, I don't think I would put that much on him, but that was just like even to get to 100, if that makes sense. Going down the line, a lot of big favorites, so it's kind of hard to fade them. I think Opelka will win that match. All these favorites should win up here. I was looking at. Should be no issues. Draper, he's a huge favorite. I think FAA is not too bad either. Minus 170 against Struff. I think he's almost like 35 now. He's getting pretty old up there. Thompson, I think, is good parlay piece. Not too bad. Nishikori, I think maybe not a bad parlay piece either. Moving down the line. Yeah, I'd definitely fade Manarino. That guy's pretty bad at tennis now. I think he should probably hang it up pretty soon. Popyrin, I think he should win. Mute could be kind of crazy sometimes, but I think Popyrin should push through that one. I really like Rublev in this match too. Minus 155, I know Fanesca, he's like on a 13-match winning streak, but I don't know. I just have a hard time imagining Rublev getting knocked out, at least in like an easy fashion. If he loses, I think it'll be like in a 5-set war. But I at this price, I feel like you have to go with Rublev. He's literally a top 10 player versus like a guy who's ranked like 130th. Like I said, he's hot right now. He's really good. Won a bunch of matches in a row. But I'd have to go with the more established player in this match for sure. Keep going down. A lot of favorites. Coric, maybe you could fade him. Never really know where that guy's head is. I'd definitely get on GMP in this first match. I think he'll just outserve Monfils just all day, especially on these fast courts. He's at least going to win one match here for sure. So I'd get on that slight favorite for sure. Griekspoor can maybe take a set or two from Herc. I'd be careful in that one. Kind of like Stan, even though he's pretty old now. I think he maybe could keep this match competitive. Seems like he always does play decently well here. So I might ride the Stan train. Giron's playing really solid. I think he should win this match too. Good favorite. Berrettini, it's kind of a weird number. I think he should win, but he's in decent form. He's coming back, I think. Didn't have the best season last year, but same with Berrettini though. I think this set probably will go at least to 4 sets. So I think the over could be a good play in this one. Moving on. I will always fade Chapo to the day I die. RBA again, he's like 40 years old though. It's like really hard to get on it. Maybe his game spread. Maybe like to get in a set in a parlay. This one, again, is weird. Tsitsipas, he's only minus 180 in the first round against, like, he's, like, basically a top 10 player. Maybe not anymore, but Mickelson, I mean, the guy is, like, his mental is not that good. Same with Tsitsipas, but I just think he's a better player. Minus 180 is not the best odds, though, so I'd probably take his game spread. I think he could cover three games, so hopefully he doesn't get, like, conservation set, drops like a 6-1 set or something like that. But I do think he should win this match, probably 3-1, I would suspect. I mean, he did make the final last year too. There's that, so I think he has a lot of points to defend. And that's basically much it. Holger Rune, I think he could get upset here. Zhang is really good. Kind of a flashy player though, so if he's not redlining, if he's not hitting his shots, I think he'll lose that match to Rune. But basically, my favorites were Kyrgios and I think that was, and Rublev. Yeah, Kyrgios and Rublev. I would get on those favorites, and a few of the other dogs I mentioned. But thank you for watching. I know this video is kind of off the cuff, kind of all over the place, but thank you for sticking around. Have a good one.